Welcome into Arkansas Sports Now as we're talking about sports across the state of Arkansas. Glad to have you along. Got a full house here today. We got Duran Miller here beside me. Justin's over here pushing some buttons, trying to recover from the flu.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I'm not contagious no more.
Man, my kids had the flu. I dealt with it for like 10 days in the house.
You gave it to me, buddy. I think.
Maybe. I haven't, so far I haven't had it, but I also have the magic potion. I don't know if you know that or not, but.
I took it.
Hotty toddy?
Yeah. Huh?
The hotty toddy?
No. Honest
enough.
to God, it didn't work as good as this did. I tried the hotty toddy.
You told me about this.
You're wrong. I need to put the recipe on the screen for folks. It
Seriously.
works, folks. But
you have to drink it more than once, and it's like drinking gasoline.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It really is, and I can drink apple cider vinegar straight. It doesn't bother me. But I'm telling you, this stuff it's hard to drink
It'll
for
put
me.
hair in your chest.
Yeah.
But
It'll knock anything you got going
okay.
on.
Again, all you got to do is go back to if you're interested at all, go back to about December of, let me think here. Was it 23 working into 24? I believe it was.
Yeah.
When we were doing Pottsville games, and I had an ear infection. I had an ear infection, and I can't tell you how long.
No, it was just last year.
Was
it?
it?
24 going into 25. It was
Whatever
just
it
last
was.
year.
I had an ear infection. I couldn't talk for no, it wasn't. My wife had surgery. I was sick from November.
Yeah, I remember all that.
I was sick from November till like January. And I'm taking antibiotics. I'm taking all these things, and it's just not working.
Right.
And so I'm like, I got to look for something to help myself, right? So I start looking into natural stuff. And look, you feel however you want to feel about this stuff. I'm just saying this.
Is your tongue blue?
No. But listen, this stuff works, man. I'm telling you, I really believe in it now. But what it is again, I was sick for a good part of 2 months. I have a hard time talking, running fever a lot, all that stuff. I get this natural remedy, which is ginger, garlic, cayenne pepper, a drop of tea tree oil. You're not supposed to drink this stuff, by the way. Honey and lemon. Did I say lemon? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
Okay, 6 ingredients. You put that in there, and again, it's like drinking gasoline. I'm not joking. And anyway, it knocked it out after antibiotics didn't knock it out. I literally drained my own ear. I had an ear infection for so long, antibiotics weren't knocking out. I drained my own ear, and then, of course, the rest of the sickness, I was coughing till I threw up. Like it was that bad for a long time. Anyway, all that being said, if you are worried about getting sick, drink it. I'm telling you.
This is the conversation after Saturday's game against Auburn.
Yes.
But we have a better feeling today to get into
well,
a little bit.
Now I will say it didn't knock out the sickness from that.
No,
not completely.
But anyway.
But it definitely, you're feeling a lot better. There's not as many people calling in on shows and saying, hey, this is not a Sweet 16 team as there was before last night.
So, even though the flu has swept through my house, now my wife hadn't had it either. She won't drink it to save her life. I'm serious. If she was about to die, she'd just say, let me go home to Jesus. I'm not even joking. And
I was feeling that way on Sunday.
Right.
I tell you.
Anyway, so she wouldn't do it. But I'm telling you, I drank it, and I feel fine. In fact, I feel pretty good. Big Block's in the house right now. He says, what's new? We talking Razorback flu ran through his house last week.
Razorback flu.
I'm telling you.
Swine flu.
Yeah. Anyway, we enjoy your comments. Make sure you comment. And we also want you to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want natural remedies or sports talk, join us right here on the Arkansas Sports Network.
Covering it all.
Anyway, we got Duran Miller here beside me. And Duran, it's always good to have you in. I think people enjoy when you and I get together and talk a little bit of sports. We can bounce stuff off each other. Yeah. Not to say they don't enjoy when Justin's in here either, but
I am prettier.
Well, I don't know how. Do you want an award for that?
He's a Muhammad Ali fan,
right? He's also a little delusional, but it's it is what it is.
I am.
Anyway, that said, it's good to have you in.
All right, yeah, glad to be here. excited to talk a little bit about everything. Arkansas now, talking about the Razorbacks, a lot
Yeah.
of it, but just a lot going on in the state. Obviously, a lot of recruiting going on in football.
Yep.
Transfer portal week. We're going to talk about that later. But we got basketball. Got the game last night, and just baseball started this week. Practice, so getting geared up for that. Won't be long. We'll be at Globe Life. We won't be, but you might be actually.
Maybe we'll see.
But Globe Life Park, the Hogs will be down there, and we'll be getting things going against. I think in the first one it's OSU, ain't it? Oklahoma State.
I believe you're right. I believe you're right.
Up,
Which Arkansas baseball, Arkansas baseball, there's such a love-hate relationship with Arkansas baseball, and most of it is love. But then when you get to the end, it's a hate because everybody just kind of set up for the final disappointment. And last year was a disappointment. I mean, my gosh, it was so awful to watch that last inning of that game with LSU. Now, the thing about Arkansas baseball, that in the World Series last year, you still had to beat LSU twice. And that would have been a tall task to do.
Right.
But it's just the way things go down.
Well, yeah, and when you sit there and you watch basically almost a perfect game before, and then you still lose, and you just – it's a roller coaster a little bit, and the team had the talent to do it, but you put yourself in a bad spot where you're on that side of the bracket and you got LSU right out of the gate, and got to beat them twice, and just a really tough situation to be in. And I think it all goes back to what you were talking about with the love-hate to that 21, the Cops year. Was that
21.
And it was just that year we were so good. We were number one all year, dominate the SEC tournament. The 1 seed, which we know that's been beaten since then, but for a while there it hadn't. There was that whole lore with that back to, 99, Miami or something like that, the last one to do it, to win it all, being the number one overall seed. But that team just broke your heart. They didn't even make the College World Series, which we were doing our little Razor Wire show at the time. It was just every episode, every week was building up that season. Me and you basically had tickets, in motel rooms waiting to go to Omaha. And we don't even get to Omaha. We lose that to North Carolina State. And since then, it's like you have a little bit piece of your heart you have to keep guarded. Every year since then, like, we'll be number one in the country at some point, seems like, at least once a year, if not for several weeks. And things are rolling, but you just kind of like sit on edge and you worry, because you've been there. You've been hurt when you thought, and I'll go back to say this right now, that was the best team in college baseball that year. It really was. Even though we didn't win it, obviously North Carolina State goes on. If they didn't have the COVID issues, they might have won the whole thing. But that team just, I always talked about the injury to Peyton Pillette. I feel like that hurt us down the stretch, arm-wise, having to use cops more than you would have, all those things. But since that happened, now the love-hate, you just –
you got to go back
excited,
to 18
but I don't get
Oregon State.
Oh, for sure. But I don't get too excited because until it happens, it happens.
My stance at this point with Arkansas baseball is this: I love it. It's my favorite season. You're going to win a bunch of games, but until they get to a point where they win it, I won't believe that they win it until 5 minutes after they do. Because I've just got to a point that I'm just like, until they show me. Like last year, I let myself. I was like, man, we got it. But I knew going into it, we needed to win the first game. And then, of course, the ace for LSU was just so hot at that point. And it just seems like Arkansas runs into that every year. You've got the buzzsaw, whatever. It might be a team. It might be a pitcher. It might be a hitter. It might – you go back to 22 and they make it all the way to the semifinal, and Ole Miss, well, they had an opportunity to put themselves in that winner's bracket game, and they lost to Ole Miss, and they had to come back and beat them. They did beat them. They lose a 2-0 game they can't even hit.
Yeah, I was at that game, and it was brutal.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was a game that you could win easily, but we just could not hit. And yeah, it was a tough time.
So we've talked a little baseball. We'll talk about it some more, but let's talk basketball. Let's talk Razorback basketball. Arkansas, since we have talked about the Razorbacks, they have They went 1-1, and they lost to Auburn, and there really ain't a whole lot to say about that Auburn game. You want to talk about running into a buzzsaw. You're talking about Auburn coming off that loss to Texas A&M where they made the shot, but it didn't count and all that. They needed a victory just to stay in the league, and they were able to win. And I'm not even surprised by it because how many times have we seen Arkansas do the very same thing?
Last night, in a way.
In a way, yeah, right.
That team was ready last night. Cal had them ready after losing that game Saturday the way they did in the fashion, getting the doors blowed off basically, and we saw that. South Carolina witnessed kind of what we witnessed on Saturday, which I do say that, we didn't play as good as we could. I feel like the effort wasn't what it had been. They were kind of sleepwalking a little bit, but Auburn was also, if you play your absolute best, you might be leaving there that day with a loss. You know what I mean? And obviously, when you're not defending and you're not doing real good on offense as well, you're not sharing a basketball. It's one of our worst assist game of the year, most turnovers. You're going to have that kind of performance, and they just ran away with it. So, those nights happen. It doesn't mean that you should ever lose by 21. Right. Be down by 29 with like 2 minutes left, but they're going to happen some. It's hard. We barely beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss really was just making shot after shot to end that game on Tuesday that week. And was that a Wednesday or Tuesday? Wednesday, yeah. And we found a way to win, but that's not a real good Ole Miss team. We've got some teams, games coming up on the schedule that look like those should be wins. But anytime you go to the SEC in basketball, it's a tough road. The 94 team, 93-94 team, they go and lose to Mississippi State. I think it was the second SEC game of the year. Might have been the first. I think it was the second. And a lot of people don't know this, but for like 20 years or something close to that, Arkansas had never won at Mississippi State.
Right.
It didn't happen until Anderson was here, I'm pretty sure, before we actually won at their house. It's just very hard to win on the road. And obviously South Carolina felt that last night. Obviously, they're not that great, but we've got a bunch of games coming up that on paper, obviously the next couple are tough. Right. But after that, when you get further out, like the LSU's, Missouri's, those aren't just gimmies. So they got to continue to improve. The next two are tough. Georgia and who's the other one?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, both those are coming up. Let's talk South Carolina before we get into that. Big news out of there was Darius Acuff again, 13 assists, which it was second ever in an SEC ball game. Tied Lee Mayberry. When you start invoking the name Lee Mayberry, that's when you've done something very good. And Lee Mayberry had 13 assists in a game. But Kareem Reed was the record holder at 14 assists in 1996, and he was a freshman. Right. So it was the second most ever for a Razorback. It was the second most ever for a freshman. This kid has been the SEC Player of the Week freshman now for 5 straight weeks, which is a record.
He has a chance to be 6 if he has a big game Saturday.
They're talking now about being the Player of the Year.
Right. Yeah, his name's in the hat. He's one of the front runners.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in the hat. He's at the top. And,
right.
It's special. We've had some guys that they call one and dones, but we've talked about this on the side, and I've been on the record with you saying this, that, a guy that goes like 15th or 17th or somewhere, maybe still a lottery pick, but real close to the line there. When I'm all these years, when you see what Calipari did at Kentucky, when he's getting the guys like Davis, and I'm trying to think of the real fast point guard they had, John Wall. Mm-hmm. When you see those guys, you're like, that's a one and done. I love Moses Moody, but he didn't feel like and what he did as a freshman was special. Don't get me wrong, and he had several 20-point games late in the year, but I don't think this guy's when I think one and done, I'm thinking a top 5, top 10 pick.
Right.
And Acuff, which he's a little bit smaller, it'll hurt him a little bit in the draft on some of that, but he still, I think, is definitely a top 15 guy.
Yeah.
But he is a true, when you look at him, you're like, this is a real one and done.
Right.
I never felt that way about Boogie Flan. I never felt that way about several guys. And we've got that right now. And then Thomas, I mean, if Thomas goes 5 for 5 for 3, I mean, I don't know how you beat us. You know what I mean? He was on fire last night. Just had an unreal game, Malik. But
Well,
yeah,
how
I
you
mean,
beat us is make us defend, and
True.
that's the chink in
that's
the
the
armor
game plan.
for sure.
Should be.
Stephen Meyer, Big Block, he's on Facebook as well right now, saying he talked about the flu, and he's got all his remedies there. So if you need a new remedy, go up there and look at that. He did say this though: Razorbacks have so many pieces to move around. I really hope that they become fluid by March. Love what they have available. I agree. Then he asked, where does the A-Cuff come from? He comes from Detroit. So he's a tough guard.
Yeah, he is.
He's a tough guy.
We had
So
talking about Kareem Reed a minute ago. He was
Right.
a Brooklyn kid.
Right.
And talking about tough as well.
right. Oh yeah. Is Darius A-Cuff the early season favorite for the SEC Player of the Year? There's a poll. I'm gonna go ahead and vote on it. I'll say yes right now. I'll go with that. I think he is.
Yes.
I think if Keyshawn Hall plays like he did with against us, he would have a shot at winning it. I don't know if you watched the Auburn game much or not, but Keyshawn Hall, he's at his 15th school in his 13th year of SEC play or NCAA play, and he's a professional at this point. It's got, he's paying alimony with his NIL money, and he's got 4 children and all that. I mean,
They're fixed to be freshmen.
right,
No, not really.
right, exactly. His kids are growing up. They're in high school now. He's still playing college basketball, and he did destroy us.
Yeah.
He destroyed us.
He looked like a
Arkansas
grown
actually
man.
recruited him.
Yes,
They did.
remember that.
They recruited him with Musselman. Yeah, I mean hardcore. Like he was one of those guys that was like way at the top of the transfer portal for him. And you remember when Musselman was first here, like he was ahead of the game with the transfer portal.
100%.
Yeah,
NIL hurt him as much as it helped because he was really onto that. Like he was really great at finding guys and bringing guys in because he had that NBA. That was the whole sale with Musselman. Come here. I've got all this NBA experience. I got coaches most of the time that have NBA experience on my staff. And that's just what worked. And that's why he got some of these amazing incoming transfers every year. When it came to NFL, everybody's doing it now. But he was ahead. He was definitely ahead of it on that.
right, for sure, head of the game. But anyway, 108-74 last night with South Carolina. I'll give you a few stats here. As you said, it was Malik Thomas who actually led in scoring. He had 26 minutes last night, 8 of 9 from the field, and 5 of 5 from 3. That, to me, when I watch Malik Thomas, he's probably the first player since Scotty Thurman that really reminds me of Scotty Thurman. He plays
and quiet.
He plays a lot like Scotty Thurman to me.
I 100% agree. That's a really good take. He's just kind of that. He's not a guy that gets the ball in his hands every trip down the court.
Right.
He's not like a point guard like A-Cuff is, but he's smooth. He's got that silky feel to him like Thurman did, and he's got a super quick release. Thurman could get it off quick if he had to. Obviously, the shot.
Right. In the national championship game.
He plays his role.
Yeah.
And does a very good job at it.
Well, here's the thing I like, and that's a good point, by the way, because one of the things that he don't have to start.
Nope.
He's obviously the top 5 players on the team. I mean, that's like no doubt. In fact, when I watch who Arkansas actually starts, I feel like Arkansas starts two guys that could obviously be bench players. I think that Wagner, right now the way Wagner is playing, he did play better last night. But for the most part of the season, you see what he's doing, which similar to what he did last year when Fland was on the team. He kind of took a back seat. Nothing wrong with that. I'd just like to see him do what he did last night, which he shot the ball 8 times. He was 5 of 8 from the field. He was 1 of 2 from 3. He had a rebound. He had 2 assists. He had a steal. Right. Yeah.
Some dunks.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to see him do that. But anyway, in my opinion, if you're starting the best 5 people, he's on the bench. And then up until last night, Pringle, 15 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. I mean, if you get that out of Pringle, start him.
Then you feel a lot better.
But in my opinion, Ewan has played much better than Pringle has.
I agree.
Yeah.
You kind of knew more than likely Pringle was going to have a night last night playing against South Carolina, his old team. We see that time and time again where a guy's up for that game. He's got to stay that way. He's got to stay on that kind of mindset where he's aggressive And if he can add 15 and 7, that would help us out big time because our biggest issue right now is the post defense. Post defense, Brazil. Ask Mike talked about this a little bit the other day on Monday. Mike Irwin did that. As fast as Brazil is, as athletic as he was, Hall was just going around him at the high post like he was just sitting still. And he's probably as quick or faster. And it was just like Brazil didn't have his head in the game at times. And that's been the opposite of what the talk has been about Brazil this year. Most of the year, he's been fabulous, and he's played like he did down the stretch at the end of last season. If he didn't turn it up a notch, we don't get into the tournament. We definitely don't go to the Sweet 16 without Brazil. And he's played that way to start this year. The injury's gone. He's over all that. He's just played really well. And obviously his outside shooting has gone to another level this year. Started at the end of last year. But he has these moments like he did the other day against Auburn where he just went away defensively, and we can't have that. He's got to have that night. I think Ewan is a guy that has some post moves that we need him to get in there more. Obviously, Pringle had a big night last night, but Ewan, I agree. He's been playing better of those two easily. He was the only one against Auburn, big guy-wise, that showed up at all. He had some moments. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's a guy that does have a little bit of the back-to-basket game, but really it's all on the defensive side that those guys got to step up and play big. You can't, it goes back to the Duke game where was it Boozer's son? I can't think of his first name.
Cam Boozer.
Yeah, Cam, where he just dominated us.
Right.
That's going to be a big-time problem when you get in deep playoff runs.
Right. Cam's a leading scorer of all former NBA player sons right now. Like he's averaging like 20-something a game right now. It's ridiculous.
He's
reinvented
really the hook.
He really has.
Yeah.
Not the hook shot.
Well, he has been something for Duke. Yeah. But that also talks about this Arkansas team when you're talking about they were in the game with Duke. They should have beat Michigan State. Those two are both top 10 teams. Houston and Auburn both kind of similar games. Just didn't play that well.
I think Houston's a better team than Auburn.
100%. But similar games in the way of that they really just didn't have a shot, and Houston was one of those. You've got to hope that that's cut out by the time that you get to tournament time, because if obviously it's a one-and-done situation. This team, when you look at the way they can score, I mean – this game was a 10-point game, and then it was a 30-point game, and it was that quick. Like, it just happened over a couple-minute span. The game was absolutely over. They can score in bunches. They shot 38% from three last night, which is basically right on par with what they did. They shot 59% for the game last night and 82% from the line.
That's nuts.
This is a really, really good offensive basketball team. The problem is that they fall asleep defensively.
Yeah,
I think that this team's got a shot to win the SEC. Right now, they're sitting at 3-1 with a plethora of other teams. They're sitting at 3-1. As you said, these games coming up, Georgia on Saturday would be huge if they can beat Vanderbilt. I think if you can come out of these two games winning them, I think you're a serious contender to win the SEC.
I completely agree. You talked about it on. It was last week. There was a lot of talk about starting 5-0 or 6-0 or what may. Obviously, the Auburn game derailed all that. Right. But I personally think this is a caliber team that could go 13-5 in the SEC. I feel like that's about what I'm feeling like is going to happen. Right. Could be wrong. Could fall apart a little bit. I'm hoping not. Right. But I think 10-8. The way they're looking right now is the worst I see us doing. But I really think we're a 12-6, 13-5. If things really go well, 14-4 top team. Right. It's just so hard. There's a lot of road games left. You got to go to Bama. You got obviously these two this week coming up. Well, Saturday and next week with Georgia and Vanderbilt. Those are tough games. And then any of them are going to be not gimmies. Even when you're going to Missouri, places like that, you're going to have to be on your game, or you're going to struggle and have a chance to get beat.
Your next five: Georgia, Vanderbilt, LSU at home, and then at Oklahoma and Kentucky on January 31st. And that Kentucky game is going to be interesting. Arkansas is a better basketball team than Kentucky is right now, but that doesn't mean that Kentucky won't have the energy to come in the building and win the game. Now, it's also there's no telling that we might just beat them like they stole something, you know. And
I see that coming.
Yeah, I could see that
I
happening.
feel good
All
about
the
it.
trash they've talked.
But you never know, like you're saying. And I would love to have an Arkansas-Missouri 1994 moment, you know.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Did you see what happened with Kentucky last night in LSU?
They won by 1.
Did you see what happened?
No.
They Christian Leitnered LSU.
Oh, really? I
They
didn't know
did.
it was the last-second play.
I mean, they were down 1. They threw the ball the length of the court, and it wasn't a situation where
John
Leitner
Pelfrey wasn't guarding them?
No, it wasn't a situation where the defender was behind him. He was actually in front of him. The kid caught the ball above the defender and then just turned, and he was wide open. And he just shot it like he was wide open and knocked it down. And, you know, they won the game. They came back from 18 down. So you got to watch them as well because something like that can spark them, you know. And they're not devoid of talent.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Exactly.
So –
yeah, something like that can spark them for sure. They're going to have extra fuel for our game. Obviously, being at the Bud will really help us. I feel good about that game, but they're good enough to knock you off if you're having an off night. You know, sometimes that just happens, even at home.
Oh, for sure. And Arkansas hasn't lost a game at home. It's been a long time since Arkansas went undefeated at home. In fact, I can't remember the last time Arkansas went undefeated at home.
It's been a minute.
I mean, they've lost one game. I'm talking about in general, but now we're in the SEC portion of it. It would be nice to see that. Obviously, if you go 9-0 at home, all you got to do is get to 4-5 to get to that 13-5 record that you're talking about. I don't know that 13-5 wins it though.
No.
I think you got to be 14-4, 15-3 probably to win it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Alabama's good.
They are good, but right now Vanderbilt, even though they got beat last night, is still kind of the.
Oh, they finally lost?
They got beat by Texas last night, and they got beat by 20.
Yeah.
They didn't just get beat; they got thumped.
Ooh.
So anyway, but when you look at the schedule, to me, the schedule does not look that daunting. I mean, at Georgia, it's going to be a tough game anytime you go on the road, and your road games are at Georgia, at Oklahoma, at Mississippi State, as you said. Very tough place to win. At LSU, we don't have that many wins down at the Maravich Center. At Alabama, I can't remember. Can't remember the last time we won a game down there. At Florida, when's the last time we won at Florida? I think we did win recently, haven't we? At Florida, it was like the first time since 1995. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was still under Musselman. Yeah,
I believe that's right. And then at Missouri,
well, they finally got rid of Kayvon, you know.
Right.
Allen.
Right.
He finally left, and he wasn't the spur on our side that he was
good
the
Lord.
entire time.
He wasn't good against anybody but Arkansas.
Exactly. That was his best game of the year.
Every
year.
time.
That's kind of what Pringle was last night.
All right. Anyway, so big game Saturday. That's a 3 o'clock game on ESPN2. I'll be just then getting done with Pee Wee basketball, so I'll be able to set in. And
did you talk about the
watch.
Texas game? They are coming. They just beat Vanderbilt last night. Huge win. But they have to play at the Bud on March 4th.
And we don't play them twice. We don't go to Texas, so that's an interesting one. I just got a message, and I'm looking. I got a message about regional tournament sites. Have they been picked yet? They're being picked today. In fact, they may be in a meeting right now being picked. So.
They may be talking about the Arkansas Sports Network right now.
Hoping for a good roll.
You've got to get this done to get these guys the info they need. Doubt it. But.
Mr. Myrick commenting his EPC Warriors, Lady Warriors, getting conference wins this week against Cross County and Corning. Which, that's awesome.
Right.
Warriors got a 4-game night tomorrow night. Goodness. I do 2 somewhere. Am I at home tomorrow? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
This basketball season's crazy.
Brooklyn picked up a good win over Blytheville. Sure did there for sure.
Yeah, Blytheville's a good basketball team.
Oh yeah, for
almost
sure.
Always.
Anyway, well, I think we've covered Arkansas basketball. Acuff, is he going to win Freshman of the Week again for the 6th straight week?
If Arkansas wins against Georgia, and he has a
Hogs got another commit an hour ago.
He's already got a double-double. 18. Who was it?
Matt Adcock.
Oh,
from Memphis.
Okay.
6'3" tight end.
Right.
Man.
he's pretty talented too.
He was. He looked good in the game against Arkansas last year.
Yeah, right.
He does his job.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I was thinking about that the other day.
Tried a great number 32. Heck yeah. Boy.
Just yeah, Shaquille O'Neal. But so what I was going to talk about was the just. I know we've all thought about this and talked about it a little bit probably at some point, but the irony, the real irony with Silverfield, and I mean, if that's the game that sealed Pittman's fate. It wasn't the 17 loss to Notre Dame.
No.
It was the Memphis loss. Well, you knew it was over. It was already bad, but when that happened, you knew it was over. I mean, if he somehow beats Notre Dame and they get on a roll, he probably would have salvaged things, but you pretty much knew it was over, because when you lose to Memphis, you know you're not going to beat Notre Dame the next week, more than likely, you know.
Right.
And then the backup quarterback, Kerryon Gerard, down the field to seal the game. He's now a Razorback. Silverfield's now a Razorback.
Right.
Just the guy that ended the last coaching staff won himself the job, basically. You know, I mean, that played a role. Obviously, him and Juracek were already talking. You know, I think they were talking that week, were they not? There was a letter or something that happened.
After.
There was some kind of message. So, it's just crazy, right? As we kind of get into, we're talking Razorback football a
Well,
little bit now.
so, yeah, let's get into it now. I'm going to say this. I'm going to talk to that situation. I got on here the day that they hired Silverfield, and I said I don't think it's a good hire. And I was wrong. I think that so far it's proven to be a pretty good hire. Now, what happens on the field will determine that.
Right.
But here's what I don't like, okay? Women's basketball hire, men's in the football hire, right? We played Memphis, and Juracek hires Silverfield.
Right.
Basically, he's the number one guy from the start. And then women's basketball hire, they played Oral Roberts at Bud Walton Arena.
Yeah.
And to me, that's lazy hiring practices, in my opinion. Get beyond that. If he's the guy and if she's the woman to be able to lead your programs, and that's fine. But I just felt like that, to me, it's a pattern when you do that. And so were they even looking beyond those people to be able to hire your next coach?
This was already sitting in your lap.
Right.
Was it a lack of work involved in that? This was the easy route.
Right.
We don't really know, but it feels that way. Like you said, it is a pattern a little bit. So,
but I do like the energy so far around the program. I think that the energy is good change. Been a good change right now. I like it. Obviously, again, on field is what's going to happen. Is what's going to be able to, when it comes to grading him. What was it a hire? What kind of hire was it? Was it good? Well, we'll find out on the field. But so far, at least in the portal, you have seen that Arkansas has more money than they've had in the past. It seems that way. And they seem to be getting a higher quality kid than what they've had. Maybe I'm wrong. My biggest complaint with Arkansas and what they've done in the past at the portal, and maybe this is a direct line from not having enough money, is that I felt like they got so many kids that didn't have anything to prove. Not one thing to prove. They would just bring these kids in. Oh, he played at Oklahoma. Well, let's bring him in and see what he can do. And then he sucks. Oklahoma didn't want him, so they kind of pawned him on us. And I'm talking about Kenai Walker, by the way, one of my least favorite players ever at Arkansas. But with that said, he's not the only one.
There's been Sean watching a game right now. This is crap.
I picked on him a lot. I'll be honest with you. I don't pick on a lot of players, but he was. Style.
But yeah, he got roasted.
He
looked on my Carroll for the Green Bay Packers. Which I love Carroll in college.
Right.
He was great. He was all SEC. But in the NFL, it was a different story, and that's kind of how it looked this year. It was rough. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I mean, we start Heisman campaigns every week, and it's been that way since Petrino fell off the motorcycle.
It's kind of like the 3-point record when Mike Anderson was here. Everybody said a 3-point record. Yeah. It's now they're setting Heisman candidacy.
Chambliss and he just takes over the starting job, and the other guy's like coming in, and he's like, "No, get back out." If Notre Dame could have played us more than once, they would have definitely would have won the Heisman for sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
might should have anyways.
Anyway,
Notre Dame needs to quit complaining and get in a conference or shut up.
I agree with that too. I do agree with that. But I think when you expand
They
the
still should have
tournament,
been in this year.
I agree with that too.
I agree. They should have been, but
I mean, they lost to Miami by less than 7
I think
or 7 or less.
Oklahoma, to me, was the team that probably shouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
Alabama, Oklahoma, you could have
either one of those.
either one of those. Notre Dame was better than they were better than Oklahoma.
It's those you're giving. We have a Power 4 now, but how many are getting in automatics? Is it 5 or 6?
There is 5 automatics.
Well, it's a Power 4, but really it's almost a Power 3.
Right.
You could make that argument. You know what I'm saying? So when you put in who are they? I'm trying to remember. Like the 2 that got in that were like jokes. James Madison and who was the other one?
James Madison and Tulane.
Yeah, Tulane.
Yeah.
And they get slaughtered in the first round.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like you got to tweak that a little bit. I don't think those should be automatics from non-power, definitely not outside the Power 4, you know, which you could almost make it a Power 3, in my opinion.
Right.
The Big 12, and, you know, it's just a little weak there. You know, obviously Texas Tech doing some things, but they're spending another $40 million too.
I will say this for the Big 12. They saved their conference because that looked like it was going down the toilet, and they figured out a way to keep it going with Colorado, Utah, Arizona. BYU was the other one there. They were able to keep it because it did look like it was done. Like it looked like they were about to split up, go their separate ways. And then there was a time that Texas A&M, Texas Tech,
Missouri.
but no, it's Baylor, I think, that were all going to go to the Pac-12 at one point.
Yeah.
That's been a while back now. And then when A&M went to the SEC, that's when everything just kind of started back this way. But anyway, all that being said, let's talk Arkansas. Let's talk what's going on in the portal right now, and let's talk about it. I mean, again, you can't figure this out until they get to play, obviously. But, again, energy looks good. I like the caliber of players. I like how the ones they're going for. I'll be honest with you, I kind of like the idea of going after some of these smaller school kids because I feel like they're coming to prove something.
Right.
They're coming to prove something to you. The tackle from, it's Louisiana now, the Raging Cajuns.
Right. Used to be Lafayette.
Right, used to be Lafayette. I like that. I like that caliber guy. He was a high-caliber guy in the portal. There was another guy, defensive guy. It's hard to even keep up because they've had,
I know.
I think it's like 33 right now.
So I used to be, like, you know me, I'm a memory guy. Like, I used to, like, for years, friends of mine would just do this for fun at, like, get-togethers and stuff. They'd be like, who's number 7? And I'd be able to tell you his name, his height, his weight, his high school, some of his bench numbers, what he did last year, like crazy stuff like that. And I'm not putting myself up, but now you can't do that. Because it's 50 new guys every year.
Exactly.
It's crazy. You can't keep up with it. But
they got a D-back from that over Ohio State.
Yes.
I mean, that's a big deal, right?
That was huge.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, like another one. Even you're talking about smaller school guys that got something to prove. The D2 quarterback, you know, from what was the school?
Angelo State.
Angelo, yeah. You know, he was in the top 8 for the Heisman in Division II level, the Harlan Hill Trophy.
Right.
You know, those guys, he's got experience. You know what I mean? Obviously not against SEC caliber athletes, you know, as a whole, but he's got some experience. If something happens to KJ Jackson, you know, I don't know if he'll get the second job or if it'll be Hill, but you got some guys that you got some experience there that, like you said, they've got something to prove on the next level. But let's talk about some guys that are still trying to close in on transfer portal wise. We've got a lot of corners already. They're trying to get a few more safeties. They're a little bit thin there, so they brought in several this week that are going to come in. You know, so the transfer portal is 15 days and it ends Friday.
Right.
If you don't enroll by Friday, you can't go through spring ball. So they're really trying to. Obviously, they got Adcock earlier, the tight end from Memphis. You know, so obviously but it's a big push right now. It's already Thursday, but some of the guys coming are Caleb Beasley. He's coming in, I think today. I think he's already up there, but I think today may be his actual visit. He's a safety. He played for Tennessee last year. He's originally from Brentwood High School, which is right there by Nashville. He was a 4-star. Last year he had 24 tackles, fumble recovery, and he had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I don't know if that was last year or maybe the year before, but I think he had 28 tackles in 2 years there. But he's had coming out of high school, he had offers from Notre Dame, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Miami, Missouri, Maryland, Tennessee. Obviously, is where he went. So he's a guy that they're looking at. Another guy that's up there this week is John House the fourth. His dad was successful. He's 6'1", 195. Started at Vanderbilt. He played last year at Middle Tennessee State. He only played 4 games, but he had 13 tackles and a sack last year in 4 games. He's a three-star out of high school. He had offers from Arkansas, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Michigan, Indiana, and others. Another guy that's up there right now is it's hard to. I think it's Keisher. I think is how you pronounce it. McGlure. He's a guy that started at Eastern Kentucky, played at West Georgia last year. He's 6'3", 200. He's got offers from Indiana State, Liberty, Colorado State, West Virginia, Mississippi State. He visited already, and he's visiting us right now. He'll have 2 years of eligibility left. And then this one's kind of a bigger name, kid out of Bakersfield College, really highly ranked in the portal. His name is, I'm not going to get it right, but Nasongbi Ginyu. And he was a true freshman last year, had 47 tackles and an interception and a forced fumble. He's visited Mississippi State as well. He's a guy that he was at Bakersfield College. So he's another guy they're looking at safety to bring in. Marcus Hex Jr., he's a guy, his dad played in the NFL. He's 6'2", 195. He played at Iowa State. He's an Illinois native, played in 3 games in last year. And he would have 4 years of eligibility left.
Yeah.
So he's a big one they're looking at. They've also brought in one more corner. They've got a couple, but 2 or 3, I think. But they're still looking at one more. This kid's name is Peyton Taylor. He's 5'11", 166 out of Emporia. Kansas State, redshirt, sophomore. He's been there since 2023. He's had 64 tackles and an interception, 19 pass breakups. So pretty good numbers. He's visited Clemson and North Texas already. And then there's a couple defensive players, like defensive ends, D linemen. Jalen Allen, former North Little Rock standout. He played with Quincy Rhodes. He's been at Hutchinson, Kansas. He's 6'7", 245, and he's had 31 tackles, 10 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 pass breakups.
I like that.
And 2 block kicks. He's 6'7", got him in on the field goal team. I don't know if they were extra points, but he's in on that team. And 4 years of eligibility left. That's big.
Right.
He doesn't have a great offer list, but those numbers he put up, and being 6'7", 245, I think he may be one of those guys, that you're looking at as like a diamond in the rough, possibly. His offers are like Southern Miss, Arkansas State, Eastern Michigan, Sam Houston State, and others. He's got 4 years left of eligibility, so that would be
right,
big.
because JUCO doesn't count against you anymore.
Right, exactly. And then there's the twin defensive linemen out of Washington that are transferring. They're both D tackles. They're both about 6'3", 220. They're originally from, I think, Detroit, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're both from Detroit, and they're taking 4 visits in 4 days. So the thing with them is they're not visiting Arkansas till Sunday. I think they're in Wisconsin today, and then they're at Illinois Friday, so Bielema in the mix there. Auburn on Saturday and Arkansas on Sunday. So if you don't enroll by Friday, you can't go through spring ball. So unless they change your visit or something, that's going to stay that way. But Javon Parker and Armand Parker, that's their names. Javon had 19 tackles, 2.5 for loss, and 1.5 sacks in 25 games total at Washington. But Armand, he was kind of banged up off and on, had some injuries. But this past year, he got to play a lot more. He had 8 tackles and a sack last year at Washington. But that's 2 big bodies. You never can have enough defensive tackles, and you never know when guys like that are going to develop, get a new look, new coach. Kind of got they've already been in college for a little bit. They've got that experience. So those are 2 guys that Arkansas is looking to seal the deal with, hopefully. And then I know that they're having Juniors Day coming up on Saturday, January 24th. So that's another thing for in-state guys and whoever else they're inviting to that, to kind of get up there and get a better look at them. We've seen some offers going out high school wise. What were you reading to me about Steen earlier? Is Steen out of
Out of Warren. Yeah,
Is he
he's going to visit.
getting some interest?
He's going to be up
Okay.
there for that junior day. I'm looking at some of these other guys that may not, and you may have already mentioned them. Zadavian Sims out of Durant, Oklahoma, 6'3", 205. He is a redshirt freshman. Went to Oregon.
Nice.
Aliu Bay. Is that, you already
I
mentioned
didn't
him?
talk about him, no.
Okay, 6'6", 327. He is an interior offensive lineman, and he's a junior. Was out of Memphis, Tennessee. He went to IMG Academy. So he is, I guess, a 2024 freshman. So he played 24 and 25 for Maryland. So
Right.
there's a couple other guys that are coming in. I mean, it's still going to be a flurry. I figure they're going to get a flurry, but I will say this. I'll bet you that they keep open a scholarship or two, maybe three, for guys that are kind of coming in late, coming around late. Guys, is today the deadline or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 10 row.
So, well, I'm talking about to get in the portal
Oh, well, it's a 15-day window, so I guess you could get in it.
by tomorrow.
I guess you'd have to. I mean, I don't really know how that works when the portal
Right.
opens again. After
Nobody
this.
knows how it all works.
Right.
Exactly. Well,
It's,
anyway.
it's a joke,
Right.
if you want my honest opinion.
Well, you're going to give it no
transfer
matter
once
what.
or twice, fine. But you got kids there
I
on their
agree.
4th or 5th school. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
at this
T.J.
point.
Finley is in his seventh
Yeah,
year.
7th year. That's
his
just
7th
nonsense.
school.
I don't know how
Utter
you keep,
nonsense.
I don't know how you keep your academics going.
You don't.
You got
There's so many places that don't. This don't transfer here and all that kind of stuff.
You got a
lose
story of these
credits.
kids shaving points in basketball games a couple years ago.
That's
this
there's something going on right now with that.
Yeah, we need to rethink. Well, they need to rethink these rules because it is just absolutely
Well, there are
atrocious.
no rules.
Yeah,
That's
there
the
are no
problem.
rules. There's put Nick Saban in charge of it and be done with it already, so something will go right.
What is it? Whose
They're
line
ruining
is it in?
sports.
Anyway, it's there are no rules and points don't
Yeah,
matter. or
everything's
something.
made up and the points don't
Right,
matter.
There you go.
And,
I mean, it's kind of the same way in college sports right now, but unfortunately, you just kind of have to play the game at this point, right? You just,
That's why I love high school.
Right. Well, high school, I have got to a point in my life as well where I feel like high school sports still the most pure form of it, love of the game type of thing. But even at that, you're still getting NIL to creep in. I remember
Agents.
I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but there's a guy that's in Arkansas right now that he'll let you know, or he did, and I hadn't seen him do it in a while, but he talks about NIL valuations for certain players. And one of the players that he mentioned, again, won't mention his name, he had him at like $400,000 as a junior in high school, right? And I was like, where does this number come from? And where's the value in a junior in high school, and how does it become a $400,000 valuation? What is a junior in high school going to do for somebody's business to make that worth that,
The true way that NIL was supposed to work is nothing that we're having happening.
Right.
Obviously, Tennessee was one of the states that kind of got that to roll over and be kind of more widespread the way it is
Right.
now. With the little legislature they did there and kind of trying to sue the NCAA, and the NCAA was scared and had all this stuff going on at the time with,
Right.
the women's sports and how they were treated in the Final Four or the big dance, in their locker rooms and all that.
Right.
All those things going on at the same time, and the NCAA is pretending, or basically has acted like they don't have a backbone the last 3 or 4 years now in a row, maybe a little bit longer. And so they're just, once that happened and Tennessee did it, other places started joining on.
Right.
If they're going to do it, we're going to do it. Obviously, and that's just how it is. But yeah, I think the way the agent looks at it is he looks up where if this guy's going to be ranked a 4-star at this position, this is what these guys got last year, which I don't know how they're looking that up because I can't find that information. You know what I'm saying? We get these guesstimates of like Texas spent $31 million last year, but we don't really know.
Right.
I don't know if anybody knows. Obviously the schools know, but that's not, I can't find any kind of real list. It's all a guesstimate every time I find something.
Right.
Like supposedly Arkansas spent, was it 11 million last year, and Texas spent 31 or 29
Right.
or something like that. But we don't know if that's even legit. Exactly. I think it's close.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it looks close, but we don't know for sure.
And the thing is, with a team like Texas, they can spend whatever they want to spend. If they want to spend $60 million, they can, because they've got the boosters and the donors that back them up. People say the same thing about Arkansas,
It's not
but,
true.
but it doesn't seem to happen that way.
And like I was listening to some, I don't remember what show I was watching, or it was on the radio, but they had some speaker on there talking about, and I think it was Chuck and Bo. I think it was this
Yeah.
morning. They had a gentleman on there, and he was really just kind of downplaying the whole NIL. Like, he was like saying, I think it's just the older fans that have the biggest issue with it.
Right.
I don't think young kids and younger fans have as big of a deal, but I don't know. It seems like everybody I talk to, and obviously that's always around who you're around, but to me, I think most people have an issue with it. Obviously, there's a lot of coaches that have an issue with it, and like successful coaches, like Saban, you brought up a minute ago. He's one of them. It's not. This isn't sustainable how we're doing it. So like, there's a billionaire. I don't know. I can't remember his name. But he's back in Texas Tech. Obviously
Right.
he dropped. I don't know if it's all him, but he had the biggest portion of it. $40 million last year. They're going to spend another $40 million this year. He said last year that this team's going to be good. Talking about this season, but next year's going to be even better. They
Right.
already kind of had this in plan, and I think it was Irwin that was talking about that as well. That he's from Lubbock.
Yeah, if you get him talking about Texas Tech, he'll go forever.
Right.
Hey, I'm sending you something through Messenger, by the way.
Oh, buddy.
But to finish that up, he was just saying that people in the Lubbock area, a lot of those guys are upset because they don't know these kids. You're bringing in 30, 40 new kids every year. They're not from the Lubbock area. They've never seen them in high school. It's just a different feel for it,
Right.
and it didn't help them this year. I mean, yeah, they made the playoffs, but they lost. So they paid $40 million for a playoff loss. You know what I'm saying? That was his take on that. So, I mean, until more parameters are put in place,
Right.
boy, this is just the world we live
So-
in. And I don't think it's sustainable.
Right.
I don't think you can go to the same people and be like, so used to, you could get a place to be like, all right, I'm going to give you $10 million to get my name on this building, or maybe
Right.
$20 million. But
You're having to do it
nothing
year by year
happens
now.
for 20, 30
Right.
years sometimes, or at least 10, 15. And now every year we need you to give us $2 or $3 million.
Right.
Where does that stop? Because
Right.
I know some of these companies, like for Walmart, I'm employed for Walmart. I mean, it's obviously that their family is the richest family in the world when you put them all together.
Right.
But I don't know all the details, but they got some ties to Missouri.
They
That's
do.
where Walton originally was from.
Well,
Sam.
the original name of the arena at Mizzou was named after the youngest daughter of one of those Waltons, which was like Paige Laurie or something like that. She
Right.
didn't even go to Missouri. She went to USC.
Yeah.
It was wild. Anyway, so yeah, they have ties there. We have the Walton School of Business at Arkansas, and I think
Right.
that the vested interest there would be, hey, more kids will come to your school or more kids will come to your business school if the football team is successful. It usually I don't know if there's any studies about it, but usually there's an uptick in enrollment if your school is good. Like
It's true.
Indiana's going to start seeing their uptick in enrollment
Right.
because they've got football and it's really good right now.
I can't put that on the screen. It's HTML file.
I can
Won't
fix
work
it.
that way.
I can fix it. Anyway, go ahead. So, anyway, the NIL part of all of this is still confusing. But going back to the high school part of it, I have a hard time thinking that a high school kid can come in and add any kind of value. And I know that's not that. But let me get to my point. This kid that was supposed to be worth $300,000 or $400,000, right? He didn't even make it to the SEC. He signed with an in-state school. I'll leave it there. But he wasn't worth that. And there was one person that was saying that. Where did he get that number? Where was it? Where did it
Right.
come from?
He's his agent.
I mean, that's essentially what
It came right out of his butt is where it came
Well,
from.
I
he
agree.
might get 15% of, I don't know what his numbers are, but
that is part of
Obviously,
this. That's part of all of this.
Right.
Grifters.
Carpetbaggers. That's what we used to call
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
them. We're in Arkansas here.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, with that said, I was very unimpressed with that guy, and I was very unimpressed with all of the whole thing. And
Right.
that's in Arkansas. So the point was,
Oh, it's a
NIL
lot
is
worse.
coming into Arkansas. I've heard from a source here in the state, in the media, that there have been offers for kids to go to certain schools, and that they would, pay for this, pay for that, which I don't think that's anything new. But what he told me was there's a lot more money going out now than there used to be. A lot more.
Yeah.
And it's not just
Talking
jobs
about-
anymore. This is hey, we've got a stipend that we'll give you.
Right. Now, are we talking? He's talking about kids going from Arkansas high schools to other Arkansas high schools, or going to like
Yes.
IMGs and things
No.
like that. Okay.
Yeah. From one high school to the next
Right.
in Arkansas.
And their daddy don't have to get hired by the school or nothing like that.
Right. Malik Monk, he moved from EPC over to Bentonville. Obviously there was a lot of that going on there. But I'm talking about literal money exchange in hands for, hey, if you'll go to this school,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's happening.
It's happening. We know it's happening. We know stories, but we're not going to talk about them.
Right.
But
Now,
we
I
know-
think
we know
certain
it's
areas are
happening,
happening more than
but-
others.
Right. That what we're talking about here, it's like the old thing, growing up, something that was cool here was cool in California 6 months ago. you know,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Oh, I've never thought anything that was cool in California.
I agree, but you know what I'm saying. This culture is, but it's that kind of thing. Places, big cities, Atlanta, places like that. I'm sure it's going on at a much higher rate than it's going on here.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Well, there's two areas of population in this state right now.
Right. Oh yeah,
And I'll just say that. There's a lot of movement that happens in both.
I agree.
So,
That
anyway,
didn't fix it, buddy.
huh?
That didn't fix it.
Didn't fix it?
No,
You
they're
can't.
still HTML files.
They don't make any sense. Because I just saved them as JPEGs. Anyway, well, I was going to put up the state bids for Arkansas high schools. Also, real quick, we want to talk about the schedules. I do have those schedules over there for the Gulf South. But let's talk.
For the Great American Conference.
Yeah. Why did I do that?
Because
Why-
this has been so long
No,
in our heads, But I know it's been forever since they changed it.
I'm sorry.
You spent so long involved
Will
with the
Will
GSC.
Pruitt, I apologize. Yeah, but you said it the other day,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
did.
been in my head. It's been in my head.
It's my fault.
The
Sorry.
Great American Conference. Let's talk about state and regional bids. They're going to come out here very soon with state tournament sites. We're into basketball right now as much as anything. That's kind of our Super Bowl and what we do here at ASN. And we can give you some sites to bid on these state tournaments and regional tournaments real quick. In 6A, Bryant is the only one, so Bryant will get the 6A tournament. In the 5A, you got three of them. You got Farmington, Lake Hamilton, and Mountain Home all bidding in the 5A. In the 4A, Highland, Morrilton, Brookland, and Pea Ridge
Give me Morrilton,
are
please, dear God.
your bids there. In the 3A, Osceola, Elkins, Lamar, and Jesseville. Those are your bids there. In 2A, you got a bunch of them. You got Junction City, Quitman, Carlisle, Poen, Hampton, and then you've got Marshall at North Ark, which we loved going to North Ark last year. That was a great experience there. In 1A, you got Lafayette County, Westside, Greers Ferry, Jasper, and Clarendon. And I don't know what kind of gym Jasper has, if they could host or
They
if
got a
they're
good gym.
Huh?
Jasper's got a good gym.
Do they?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a great program, but I haven't been in the gym in
Well, we got a good
30
boys.
years.
They got a good boys team this
Yeah,
year.
they do.
Yeah.
Jasper's real proud of their basketball program.
Yeah.
They take care of their kids.
The NIL there, Ozark Cafe. I love it.
The Buffalo
Right.
parade, Well,
Regional bids
I
here.
just went up there, and you were up there the same night. We didn't even know it. We ate at two different restaurants.
Yeah.
But, I went
Low
to
Gap
that.
Cafe, man.
Yeah, and I went to the other one,
That's
the
good.
Ozark Cafe.
That's good.
First time
Yeah.
I've been
That's
there,
good.
it was great.
Regional bids right now in the 4A1 Prairie Grove, that will be your regional there. That's the only bid in that one. And then in 4A2, you got Brooklyn and Stuttgart. 4A3, Heber Springs and Pulaski Academy. So one of those two will host that
I
one.
have to go to PG.
With Brooklyn having a regional bid there, if they win that, that's going to be a good chance they'll get knocked out of that state opportunity.
That's true. That's a real possibility there. Now, it's not foreign to hold
Right.
both, but a lot of times you only have one bid
Right.
when you do
When
that.
happens.
Nashville is in the 4A as a bidder there. And then in the 3A1, you got Paris and Greenland. They're in on it. 3A2, Manila will get that bid. 3A3 is Rosebud, Dover, or Jesseville. 3A4 is Drew Central. Those are your regional bids in the 3A. In the 2A, you've got several bidders here. 2A1, Hector, Akron, and Mountainburg, all there. Sloan Hendricks will host the 2A2 regional. The 2A3 regional is Barton at Phillips County Community College, Mount Vernon, Enola, White County Central, or Quitman. All of those have bid. In the 2A4 region, Dirks, Hampton, Junction City, Cutter Morning Star have bid on those. And then in the 1A, you got Lead Hill or County Line in Region 1. 1A2 is going to be Hillcrest or Westside Greers Ferry. The 1A3, Bradford or Guy Perkins. And 1A4, Emerson. So Emerson will host in that one.
Right.
Emerson's got a pretty nice gym down there. They really do.
Yeah, they play good. There's a lot of good basketball down there. A lot of good basketball in
is.
that area. But anyway, that covers that. I mean, we're waiting on sites so that we know where we're going to go, and we're going to start working toward where we're headed, and looking forward to finding out there. Let's do the Gulf South real quick, and then we can wrap things up here. What?
Great American Conference.
I thought you did it on purpose that time. I'll be honest, he had me.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And,
I would like to get the Great American Conference commissioner on here, and I'm going to call it the Gulf South, and he's going to tell me
Hit you
how
in the face.
stupid I am, right?
That's funny.
Anyway.
Before we do that, shout out to my Apaches. 2 big wins last week. Our boys finally got over the hump against Dardanelle last week. It was nice.
Big Block. He says, if you want to see a battle of the champions Saturday, Osceola plays Earl. I saw that this game was going to be played at the EPC Invitational.
That's going to be
7 big games. So I will tell you, Stephen, Big Block, whatever you want to be called, I would love to go. And if I didn't have Pee Wee basketball with my daughter, which I have not watched her play in like over a month because we've been busy. Last week I guess I did watch her, but I've missed 3 or 4 in a row because of that. I would go, but man, that I did see Earl and Osceola are going to be playing each other. That's a heck of a ball game there. Anyway, let's talk about the Great American Conference. Let's talk about the schedule there tonight, which they are a Thursday-Saturday split. And if you don't know, they play the girls' game just like they would in high school. Girls' game first, guys' game next. A lot of good basketball there. And I think I pulled up the standings there. So let's put them up there.
I can't put them on the screen.
What? They're in there
Where?
at the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah,
are they?
they should be.
Oh, there they are. Sorry. And it's
Dun dun dun.
there's the men's
Okay.
right there.
All right, so looking at Washita Baptist having a heck of a year right now, 12-2 overall and 8-0 in the Great American Conference. You got Oklahoma Baptist. So the Battle of the Baptists for the NCAA tournament bid, we could have that.
You got an Nazarene right there on their heels.
Right, it's the holy war at the top of the Great American Conference standings. Harding comes in right behind them there, and that's a Church of Christ school there. And then you've got Henderson State, Arkansas, Monticello, Southern Arkansas, Southeastern Oklahoma State, East Central, Northwest Oklahoma State, Southwest Oklahoma State, and Arkansas Tech. A little bit surprised about Arkansas
Yeah.
Tech being down at the
Oh,
bottom.
having a
They've
great
had a
year.
lot of success over several years, especially under Mark Downey. The bottom there, you got 4 teams at 2 and 6. So, they're not last on their own. That looks like basically from Henderson State down right now, you still got a chance to kind of move up. And then
Yeah.
Henderson State is right behind that group. And then you've got Washita Baptist right now that got not necessarily running away with it, but 2-game lead here. And I don't know how many games they play in the conference itself, if it's 18, if it's 16. I'll have to take a look at that. But anyway, 8-0, pretty good run
Really
there.
good start for OBU.
All right, let's put up the ladies up there real quick.
Almost. There we go.
And there's the ladies. Northwest Oklahoma State at 7-1. Harding and Arkansas Tech. We talked about the Harding and Arkansas Tech recently. We don't know much about Northwestern Oklahoma State. I'm not going to lie to you there, because that's a long way from here, by the way.
Yeah.
Northwestern Oklahoma State, probably closer to Colorado than it is here. But with that being said, Harding and Arkansas Tech sport 2 of the best freshmen in not that were in the state. And I think you and I
Two that we
both
saw a lot.
I
over
think
the
that,
years.
yes, and I think you and I both agree that those two, Corey Sanders and Logan Young, I think could play Division I basketball, at least the impact that they've had so far for their teams.
Yeah, I mean they're having terrific freshman years. I think Corey had 15 in her first game. Logan's had 2 30-point games, I know, recently as well.
In a row.
Right, 32 and 31, and then Corey night in, night out. I mean, she's somewhere around that 15-point mark a lot of nights, and she's going to get lots of assists to her teammates. Corey goes off last year in the 3A state championship. Those two played each other for 3A state. Lamar victorious in that one, but Corey just probably had as good of a game as she's had in her entire high school career in the biggest moment. So you knew right then that she's probably going to have success on the next level. We know coach from Harding Academy, that's their assistant coach
Garner.
now. Garner, Randy Garner.
Yeah, Rusty.
Rusty, that's right. Rusty Garner, Randy Garner.
Randy
Thinking
played for the
football.
Razorbacks,
Yeah,
right?
I do that. Rusty, big fan of ours, and we're a big fan of his, and he helped them recruit her when he got on staff there, and I think she might have already been committed at that point, to be honest, when he came on board. But they got one of the best players. I mean, honestly, Corey, for 4 years, she played as a freshman. She never really got shut down. She had a bad night. She probably still had 13 points and 8 assists, and that would be a really bad night for her. And those are great numbers for most kids. They've got a good team around her. Maddie Holt, such a good player in high school for Bergman. She's one of them. They got I think it's Josie Williams, something like that. She played for Conway Christian. She's a big-time scorer for them. And then Logan doing what she did at Dover for 4 years, just an athlete. I mean, I was worried about her on the college level to the point that she's a 4 in high school, but she translates more to like a 3. So she's kind of like Corus Williamson going from college to pro. She's a little undersized, but she's so athletic. She obviously would have to add the long range a little bit to her game, and she was starting to do that at her senior year at Dover, and was actually close to 50% on the year. She didn't shoot a lot of threes, but obviously she's getting it done. She's got one of the best mid-range games around. 2 unbelievable freshmen for both of those squads, and I do agree that I think they could play on the Division I level.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they'd be a superstar, but I definitely think they could contribute and be a big piece of what they need to win.
I think especially with Corey, and she had a little bit more exposure than what Logan had, but if you put her in a 5'8" body, a 5'9" body, I mean, I think
that's her whole back. She's 5'3".
I think
roughly.
she'd be playing for the Hogs. I really do. I think she'd be playing for the Razorbacks right now.
I agree.
But she's still having a great year over there at Harding. They're having a great year, having a great impact on their teams. And, it's going to be interesting to follow that women's tournament, especially because they're at the top there between those two. Again, don't know a lot about Northwestern Oklahoma State. They're 7-1 in the league. They are closer to Colorado. I just checked than they are to here.
It's a terrible drive.
Alva, Oklahoma.
It's a terrible drive.
It's real close to Kansas. It's way up there. It's about 5.5 hours from here, and about 4.5 hours from Campo, Colorado, which is just inside the Colorado line, because I am an idiot and I had to check it out. So anyway,
that definitely can't be a Gulf South Conference team.
you're right. You're right about that for sure. For sure, that's a Mid-America team. They're going to be having the tournament there, which will decide the tournament bid for the. And I don't know if the women's conference of the Great American Conference is a one-bid league, but the men's conference usually is a one-bid league. So whoever wins the tournament. But anyway, they're playing that in Fort Smith. Of course, they're playing it right in the middle of everything that's going on. With the state basketball tournaments and all that.
Northwestern Oklahoma, they have played Harding already.
Okay.
And Northwest Oklahoma did get the win, 65-57, but it was a close game. It looks like that was at Harding.
Now I'm interested to see who they lost to.
Right, me too. That's what I was looking. I was looking to see if it was Harding.
By the way, if you look at Arkansas Tech's roster, and I don't know as much about Harding, I have talked to.
Their other loss was Henderson State.
Yeah, I have talked to Rusty Garner over there, and they do employ we like Arkansas kids. We want Arkansas kids, so they're looking at Arkansas kids first, and so they probably got several. But Arkansas Tech has a ton of Arkansas kids, a lot of kids that we know.
Close to the
Desi Lancaster is what she goes by now. I don't know if she got married or whatever, but she was Desi McCarty. She won our D3 Auto Sales MVP. She played at Mount Vernon, Enola.
Right.
And she's on the team. You've got
Abby Grace Cunningham.
Abby Grace Cunningham, who right now is the second leading scorer on the team. I mean, there are several Arkansas kids on that team. And so anyway, it's cool. It's cool, especially in the position that we're in, to watch these Arkansas kids grow up, to be able to watch them move on and play into bigger conferences.
There's several we've seen multiple times,
I see one every week going to be playing at Tech.
Yes, yeah, J.C.
Two of them,
Jones.
I figure Cade might walk on.
He might.
I hope he does, because I think that'll be a great addition to Tech's men's program. J.C., my gosh, he's having a heck of a season.
Well, speaking of him, J.C., boy, he really carried them down the stretch against Dardanelle that night, what did he end up with, 24?
I think 24, 26,
and
something like that.
19 in the second half.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. That was a great ball game over there at Dardanelle, which if you're not privy to it and you're watching, Dardanelle-Pottsville's a heck of a basketball rivalry for sure.
Yeah, Dardanelle had her number last year. 5 times they beat us. And look, the look of just relief that was on JC's face at getting over that hump. Him and Cade both, they were, pumped.
Yeah.
And at the end of that game, it was a good feeling for both of them. It was a fun game to call, I'll tell you that right now. That was a lot of fun.
Is Chatton still out?
No, he was back. It was I think that was his first game back.
Right.
He's not 100%, I don't think. He hadn't played anything. He's been sitting, so he's not in shape yet. When he gets in shape by the end of the season, man, that's going to be a great matchup.
Absolutely. Great matchup over in East Arkansas with Earl and EPC. Steven, let us know. Let us know what happened with that one.
I want to hear about that one. It's going to be a good game.
Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up. Arkansas Sports Now. We've been on for a while now. Appreciate you joining us here. It's been a fun one. And we're going to try to come back soon and talk whatever's going on.
We can actually go tomorrow.
Well, that sounds good. Let's do it. Let's go tomorrow and let's talk some more of what's going on in Arkansas. So, anyway, high school sports coming up tomorrow night. You got Dover at where? Is it at Dover?
It's it's at Dover. I'm trying to think. You caught me off guard there. Who do we have? I'll have to look it up. I know it. I just can't remember it right now.
Justin doesn't remember Pottsville.
We are here.
I've just been out of the past couple days.
I got it right here. Got so many notes on here.
It feels like Clarksville is the right answer for you.
Yes, it's Clarksville. That's right.
We've got Two Rivers. It's Colors Day. It's our senior night.
College Day
Two
for
Rivers
Pottsville as well.
coming to town.
Next Tuesday for Pottsville at Ozark.
That's going to be
It's
a
going
tough
to be
matchup.
it's going to be a battle.
It's going to decide some conference things that night, possibly.
It could. Pottsville at 15-2, number 8 in 4A
Boys.
in the boys.
Right.
Yep. And the girls are just outside the top 10 right now. Their record overall probably doesn't warrant them to be in right now, but
Yeah,
I
they
think
played some tough
they did.
competition.
They
Dover
did.
girls, you got it 4. We got it 4.
They'll
but they're moving up probably
if they
against
win.
Melbourne. If they win, and Melbourne
win.
got that loss
They'll-
against Mountain View, which we've seen Mountain View firsthand in our classic. They're phenomenal.
They're going to move up.
They're
Dover
adding
will.
that freshman to the Aikens girls.
Yes.
At Davis is phenomenal. Had 30 in the classic, and she's Mountain View's. Them and Greenland right now are really good. Dover's right there with them, and then you've got kind of Bergman, Melbourne kind of on the outside.
Yep.
Right on the edge there. It's really Harding Academy's.
Depending
right
on
there
how
with
the
them.
brackets shape up, that's going to tell a lot about who's going to go where. And you've talked about Dover. You've been a part of the Dover program now. They've won, 54 out of 55 now? Is that 53 out of 54?
I think I
Something
told you
like that.
wrong once, but it was 34-1 last year, and I believe now we're 19-0 after Tuesday night.
So 53 out of 54.
Yeah, okay.
Wow. A lot of run,
Good
big
enough.
time
My
runs
gosh.
there.
Junior high was 21-0 last year, so
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's a big time run for sure. Anyway, all right. Hey, thanks, Steven. Appreciate you. Bay at EPC as well. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, give us a shout. Let us know what's going on with that. We'd like to know. And I, honest to goodness, if I didn't have Pee Wee basketball and hadn't missed so much, I'd definitely go. But anyway, well, we're going to wrap it up. Arkansas Sports Now. Appreciate you joining us here, and we'll see you tomorrow.